welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about digital minimalism. Technology is a great tool that can just help us to be more productive, more connected, but most of the time, I know at least for me, I use it in a way that is unproductive and distracting. So technology itself isn't inherently unproductive or bad, it's all about how we use it. So thinking about minimalism, I would define it as getting rid of noise and clutter to create space for things that you value. So off of that, I would define digital minimalism as getting rid of digital clutter and noise to create space to put my time towards what I value. So when looking to create a more minimalistic phone, I had two goals in mind. The first one was to use my phone less, just generally spend less time on my phone. And the second one was to use my phone more proactively and less reactively. So with that said, I have a bunch of tips and ideas for you guys, a lot of which I have incorporated myself and some of which I haven't yet tried, just to help you use your phone less and use your phone more proactively. The first thing that I recommend you to do is to actually know what your screen time looks like. On your iPhone and probably every other smartphone as well, there is a setting that you can go into to have a look at your screen time. So I'm gonna actually go in and just share with you guys my screen time for the week, which might be embarrassing. So I look at my daily average for how much time I spend on my phone, and it is 4 hours and 20 minutes. That kind of hurts my heart a little bit. Obviously, some of that time is used for kind of like work things, as I do work on social media, but just that number, looking at that just does not feel good. I scroll down also to look at how many times I have picked up my phone today, and I've picked up my phone 44 times. Yikes. So go into your screen time, have a look at how much time you're spending on your phone, how much time you're picking up your phone. You probably will surprise yourself. And then that kind of gives you your starting point of where you are now, and maybe that will inform where you want to be. So I have split these tips and ideas kind of into two categories. In minimalist fashion, I have declutter and organize. So starting with decluttering your phone, the first thing that you can do is to delete unnecessary apps. I don't know if you guys have heard of this whole concept of turning your smartphone into a dumb phone, but the whole idea here is to just get rid of anything that you don't absolutely need on your phone. Which really, if you think about it, the only things that we would really need on our phone is the ability to text and call, but take that with a grain of salt and take that into account your lifestyle and what you use your phone for. So think about deleting apps that you can access on your desktop, so that's email, social media even, your notes apps. Consider the analog version of some of the functions that you use on your phone. For example, using an actual alarm clock instead of the clock app is probably going to help you eliminate that morning scroll because you won't be picking up your phone first thing in the morning. Think about a pen and paper instead of taking notes on your phone, or a watch instead of just using your phone to check the time. Along with this, just declutter as well all of the apps that you no longer use or have just been sitting on your phone stagnant. You can always re-download them if you really need them. Next tip is to turn off your notifications. A notification is essentially your phone reminding you to get distracted. The only notifications that I have on my phone are phone calls and text messages. I turn off like Instagram notifications, all social media notifications. Actually, I do have notifications on for my calendar as well to remind me when I have stuff on. But besides that, like, I will see my Instagram notifications when I go on Instagram. I don't need Instagram telling me every time someone likes or comments on a photo. It's just gonna cause me to get distracted. So limit distractions by turning off your notifications. A similar tip, going a little bit deeper into the no notifications, is utilizing the do not disturb function. So this is just a little function that you can turn on your phone just to get no notifications, no phone calls, no text messages, no nothing. I'll turn this on when I really want to be productive, when I'm sitting at my desk trying to do work. I'll turn this on at night as well if I don't turn my phone completely off. But yeah, just another function that you can use to make your phone less likely to distract you. Alright, and the next tip is pretty much just to create a less stimulating and less distracting, fun phone to be on. So things like just having a plain white background on my phone, having my apps in folders, One really good tip that I've heard that I personally haven't tried but I actually kind of want to is turning your phone into grayscale mode. So this is pretty much just about removing the overstimulation of colors and positive reinforcements that your phone gives you and making it just like a less fun thing to be on. Instagram is going to be a lot less fun to scroll through if everything is just in black and white. There's absolutely some science behind this with the stimulation and the colors, which I don't know about, but I'll link some articles about down below. So yeah, that's a great tip to consider as well. Moving on to our organizing category. Make it inconvenient to use distracting apps. Putting extra steps that you have to do to use those apps that you get distracted on is going to help you determine whether you were productively and proactively going on to use that app or if it was just reactive and distracting. So for example, putting those distracting apps in a folder and putting them maybe on the last page, you have to actually physically scroll extra times and press extra buttons to go onto the app. It's not like you're just going to see the app on the front page and just mindlessly click on it and get distracted. In the same vein, log out of your social media apps. It's going to be a hassle to log back in, and you're not going to be bothered to want to do it every time you just mindlessly click on Instagram or Facebook. I have done this, and it really reveals to me how many times I just randomly, mindlessly click on Instagram throughout the day. A more extreme version is actually just deleting the distracting apps or the social media apps altogether. Because you can still access those apps on the desktop, but it's going to make it a lot more inconvenient for you. Or also just going through the hassle to re-download the apps every single time you need to use them is going to deter you from just downloading them for a mindless scroll. There's probably so many other tips that could be applied here, so comment below if you have any others, but pretty much just making it as inconvenient as possible for yourself to get distracted. This is going to help so much for just wasting time on your phone mindlessly scrolling. Next tip is to have a physical home for your phone. If I can see my phone, if it is sitting on the desk next to me while I'm doing work or something, I will just notice that I will mindlessly pick it up to either check the time or actually maybe intentionally do something on Instagram as part of work, but then I will just get distracted on other apps and scrolling through random social media. So putting it either away in a drawer or in a charging station where I can't physically see it just makes it so much less likely that I'm gonna just pick it up and randomly get sidetracked. Again, because it is inconvenient for me. I don't just see it and react. I actually have to think about wanting to go on my phone, physically get up, go to the drawer, and get the phone out. I think that is the number one tip of this video, is just make it inconvenient for yourself to use your phone and you won't use it as much. Another tip that I have used before is to set times to check your phone and check social media. If you put schedule and structure into it and maybe say, I check Instagram an hour after I wake up and like 2 hours before I go to bed, you know when you check it and you won't have to be worrying about when you check it throughout the day. I will say that this one is hard and takes a lot of self-discipline. And a final tip is to set time limits for the apps that you waste the most time on. You can do this through the screen time setting on your phone. So you can set, say, like a 30-minute time limit for Instagram or Facebook or whatever app you waste time on throughout the day, and then your phone will like send you a notification once you hit that limit. Again, I will say this one does require discipline for you to not just bypass the notification and keep scrolling. But this is a really good function to use to just kind of check in and remind yourself when you have spent a certain amount of time on apps that distract you. Alright, so those are all of my tips on digital minimalism for your phone and just how to spend less time on your phone. I hope these tips were helpful for you guys. Again, if you have any other tips or you want to share your experience trying to follow these tips, I would love to chat with you guys down in the comments. Thank you guys so much for watching my video. I love you so much, and I will see you in my next one.